into our brand new Silver and Black show presented by Cox. Against all odds, the season is officially upon us. I'm Erin Coscarelli alongside my former All-Pro tackle Lincoln Kennedy, also Silver and Black radio analyst, to break down all things Raiders 2020 as we head into the season. But I gotta get your take, Link, on what you think of our brand new digs.
Sort of that new car smell, really nice and airy, bright lights,
Yep.
beautiful view of the city. I think I see my place. I hope I didn't leave a window open.
Oh, there you go,
Yeah,
right
it is.
there.
Yeah,
I know.
sure.
You gotta like the Vegas skyline, no doubt about that. But listen, you said it's like a brand new car. Our engines are revving
Yes,
as
they are.
we are getting geared up for game day here on Sunday. I want to get your take more so on the Raiders, but before we do that, let's bring in our two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback of the Raiders, who will be joining us every single week on this very show, Jim Plunkett. Jim, thank you so much for joining us today. We try to get you in the studio. We know it's not so easy with COVID, so we really appreciate you being able to join us remotely.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and the start of the new season is going to be very exciting. You guys are in Vegas with all the lights. I'm stuck in my office, but that's the way it is nowadays.
It's all right. We're really just grateful to have your opinion on what's been, like you said, it's been an interesting year so far. No preseason, no young guys able to get acclimated to the new season. And look, the Raiders are in a brand new city of Las Vegas. So I want to get your take. What are your expectations for the Raiders heading into 2020?
Well, expectations are always high, and that's just the Raider way. They've got a good, solid offensive unit with a veteran quarterback, some really fine running backs, a good offensive line, a couple of new wide receivers in Henry Ruggs III and Brian Edwards. I think there could be a pretty dynamic offensive unit. Defensively, brought in a lot of more people to embellish that defensive unit. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, you talk about that defensive unit, and let's talk about the matchup they have this weekend, because no doubt with the Panthers, you gotta be worried about Christian McCaffrey, the only third guy to be able to get over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in a league. And Lincoln, I turn to you when it comes to Christian McCaffrey, who does have that dual threat ability. What makes him so special, and what makes him so feared?
Well, he's kind of a tweener, Aaron. He's one of those guys that can run between the tackles, he can run outside, and also on top of that, he can catch out of the backfield. He's a quarterback's dream because he is so versatile. You put him in a slot receiver, he can outdo a linebacker or a smaller nickelback, and of course they can also take off and hard to bring down. So he's just multi-talented.
Multi-talented, and no doubt Paul Guenther might not have gotten a lot of sleep ahead of this matchup, that's for sure. But Jim, I ask you this question because I think one advantage certainly the Raiders have heading into this matchup is a scheme and an offense that's been in place for the past 3 seasons. Not the same for the Panthers, right? They have a brand new quarterback with Teddy Bridgewater, a new OC that he does know from New Orleans, and then of course a brand new head coach. So how challenging do you believe this matchup will be on Sunday without a preseason?
Well, obviously going to be a challenge for both coaches and both teams. Matt Rule is new to the Panthers. That's going to make a lot of difference. You don't know what his you kind of don't know what his tendencies are, what he likes to do offensively and defensively. And I think that'll be a little bit of a problem for the Raiders. They'll have more of a read on the Raiders and Jon Gruden, but it's who out executes who's the better football team on this Sunday, and who can come up, I think, with some of the big plays and the big stops during the course of the ball game.
Yeah, and perhaps you're right. That is maybe an advantage that the Panthers could potentially have, is the fact that there's no tape on this new offensive scheme there for Carolina. But certainly want to get more of your take on Teddy Bridgewater and company a little bit later in the show. So stick around, don't go anywhere. Plenty more with Jim Plunkett on the Silver and Black Show.
Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Cox Business, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, an official beer of Raider Nation, made to chill. By San Manuel Casino, official Southern California casino of Allegiant Stadium.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Show presented by Cox. Professor Kennedy here. Class is now in session. Now look, like Aaron, a lot of you have got this young man on their fantasy team, but I'm about to show you a couple plays which makes me really excited about what he's going to do this season. So let's start the tape. In this first look we're going to spot shadow Josh Jacobs in the background. Now this first play is called sucker wham. The reason why it's called sucker wham, because out of a balanced look, 2 receivers on the top, 2 receivers on the bottom, the offense is going to make it look like the run is going to go to the right. You're going to see a great block by Foster Moreau up at the top of your screen, come back across to the defensive end, and it's going to be a permanent cutback. Now watch Josh Jacobs show great patience as he gets hit downhill. Start the play. Now you see the snap of the ball. The whole line is going to start flushing everybody to the right. There's that block by Foster Moreau. Colt Miller actually blocks 3 guys. But what I love most about number 28, he's hard to bring down. After a big gain, he's not tackled until he's getting to the secondary. Spot shadow the running back. Now watch the flow to the right. As you see here, start the play. Everyone, including the defense, is going to go to the right. Watch number 74, Colt Miller on the backside. Gets that linebacker, picks up the safety, allows Jacobs to get extra yards. Great downfield blocking by Darren Waller there, and that opens up a huge hole for this offense. Next play we're going to start with is 48 toss. Now what I like about this, you see the open side to the lower part of the field? That's what the offense is going to be attacking. You got to have great tight ends to block plays like this. Foster Moreau is going to do another good job on the end, but what you want to watch is Jacobs' patience. He's supposed to stretch the ball to the right, even with the sideline, and then get downhill quickly. Let's watch the play. There's a snap, there's a toss, patience, now you hit it, boom. That is exciting, and when you have a young man who's capable of doing things like that, there's a lot of fun. Let's watch it from the end zone angle. Here's Jacobs. Now watch as the line picks up blocks and holds their blocks. Great block by Gabe Jackson there. Alec Ingold getting downhill. There you go. Josh Jacobs is in the secondary. Well, that does it for class today. Hey, Erin, I'm sure that you expect number 28 to hit the end zone at least a couple times for your fantasy team, right?
That's right, Lincoln. My fantasy hopes and dreams are counting on Josh Jacobs this season. And staying with the offense, we profiled Jacobs' former Alabama teammate in Henry Ruggs III, who just might be the vertical threat Jon Gruden and the Raiders are searching for.
There he goes, Henry Ruggs for a tie touchdown.
Henry Ruggs, this is Coach Gruden with the Las Vegas Raiders. Are you interested in playing for us?
He's fast. I remember one of my friends, we were watching the combine, and we saw Henry Ruggs run his 40, and he was like, Roach, when he cut the lights on, he just got to skating. It's as advertised or even crazier in person.
A guy like me coming in, learning a totally new system.
I got that spirit. Hunter, bro.
I'm extremely excited. I mean, being around the guys, the energy, just ready to find out how things are gonna go.
Who will most definitely have the biggest impact among rookies in 2020?
I'm going with the Raiders' new wide receiver, Henry Ruggs III. You can't coach speed.
When we took the fastest wide out in the draft, Mr. Davis said that his father was looking down and smiling.
Probably the number one reason why we drafted him was his speed. The owner, Mark, has mentioned that, looking for that next Cliff Branch out there at the wide receiver position, and he has not disappointed.
Having fun today. Having a lot of fun.
Ruggs, man, is dynamic. Ruggs is dynamic. I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves for how physical he is either. He's one of the best blocking receivers that I've been around.
I bet if I was blitzing, you wouldn't stop me.
I bet I would.
I'm running through there. All 185 got to come behind me. I'm jumping. I might leave my feet.
What impresses me the most about Henry, outside of his God-gifted ability to run and to move around, is his ability to retain information. I think he's a real student in the game, and I think that's going to help him a lot.
Good, there you go.
He's very focused. He comes in, he uses the same hard work and dedication that he had at Bama that he's using here. I mean, he just put his head down and he's working. So I think Ruggs is definitely going to have a big year.
You don't want the moment to be too big. It's always gonna come back to the same thing. You're playing football, and that's what I've been doing for a good bit of my life. So once we get there, then, you know, I'll embrace the moment. But until then, we got work to do. I'm definitely ready for the opportunity. Definitely, ready to get it going and get back on the field and compete. But I mean, Derek's helped tremendously since the draft, since we got started. From the Zoom calls and everything, he's always been a help, someone I can call. And not only me, but anybody that has questions. So that been big to me. That make us, helped us develop and move into the offense faster.
So Derek Carr has some new toys on his offense. JT the Brick sits down with Raiders head coach Jon Gruden for more on what to expect ahead of their matchup with the Panthers.
Coach Jon Gruden joins us, the head coach of the Silver and Black. And Coach, this is not the way we initially drew it up, but we're excited. Football is here. How excited are you and your staff?
Man, I'm really excited. And I know I speak for the players and coaches. It has been chaotic. It has been crazy. But we're ready to play. We're excited to play. And Carolina will be a good test for us.
Coach, the challenges of building this 53-man roster with Mike Mayock, if you can walk me through that. You had a couple of really big decisions as you made this cut down. What was that like, that experience overall this time?
Well, it was a lot more challenging this year than it was the last 2 years because we had legitimate competition at every spot. But it all started, I think, with the 5 first-round draft choices. Mike Mayock comes in here. We're not saying we hit on all 5, but we're anxious to see Ruggs. We're anxious to see Arnett. We're anxious to see John Abram. We feel like we're making progress. This will be a great indicator as to how much progress we've made.
So, Coach, we've had no preseason games and now a dress rehearsal with travel. You haven't done that during COVID-19. You got to take a football team across the country and those challenges. Let's touch on that.
Well, it is a challenge because without any preseason games, and you're going up against Matt Rule, who's been in college football. His offensive coordinator was at LSU. He's been in college football. We spent more time watching Temple, Baylor, and LSU than we have studying Carolina. They got a new quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. It's a total change of scene in Carolina from the Cam Newton, Ron Rivera days. So we're going to trust our rules, trust our preparation, and we're going to be ready to roll.
Coach, we got some tape here of you. Let's look at this with you and your players on the field. So you've been getting after it, getting ready. Your energy's sky high as always.
I should have my mask on right here, JT. Obviously, I'm getting old, but I still love to get in there with these guys. Jason Witten, our new tight end, Dallas Cowboys, makes his debut with us. How excited do you need to be to go out there and be with Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards, Josh Jacobs? We've got some exciting young players, and I just love being on the practice field. That's where I have the most fun. I know I'm nuts, but a lot of people say you're nuts too, JT.
That's for sure, Coach. You got young wide receivers. You just mentioned it. You're starting 2 rookies here. And I want to talk about Hunter Renfrow. He made big plays for you last year. Seems like you're embracing this, the youth of this organization and team, these young players who were drafted high to come in and make plays for you right out of the gate.
Yeah, we felt we had to do that when we came back to the Raiders a few years ago. We had to build this team, and we wanted to add some size. We did that with Colton Miller. We brought in Trent Brown, and we felt we had to add some speed, and we've done that now with Henry Ruggs. Certainly the reliability of Hunter Renfrow inside is very important. The emergence of Darren Waller, and defensively we've added some pieces that honestly I'm most excited to see.
Coach, I talked to Derek Carr, your quarterback, and he told me he's looking to make more plays outside the pocket. If he's got to run, he could run more. He's dealt with a lot this offseason. The way he got these players to practice in the offseason, his professionalism throughout camp. Talk about your quarterback and the challenges he faces this year.
Yeah, I don't believe anybody in the league has outworked Derek, and I hope our fans really appreciate that. Last year we had 8 different people play our flanker position, 8 in 1 year. When I was here for 4 years prior to that, we had Tim Brown for all 4 seasons. He's had to adapt to a lot of change at every position. Our defense is stronger. I think we're going to get him the ball more. I'm not worried about Derek at all, JT. He's the strength of this football team, and I expect him to have a heck of a year.
You brought in a couple of new linebackers, Coach. It's really important because the elephant in the room is Christian McCaffrey. Most fantasy football players, probably your kids, my kids, took him number 1 or 2 overall. How do you get him on the ground? How do you limit his touches in this game?
Well, it's hard because any good offensive coordinator is going to move him around. He's not just going to be in the tailback position. He's going to be lined up at wide receiver. He'll motion from receiver into the backfield. You have to have athletes that can make one-on-one tackles in space. That's why Littleton is here. That's why we drafted John Abram. That's why we brought Joyner here from the Rams. They're going to have to make some tough plays in space, and we'll see what happens.
Coach, finally, Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Raiders. We go back for your first time coming in with the silver and black. How excited are you for Las Vegas? These fans and the global Raider Nation from all over the world, they're waiting for this new chapter in Raiders history.
You have no idea. It's just been very disappointing, honestly, that we can't get out in the community and make friends and be a bigger part of the community and have these fans in our stadium. But we're going to do the best we can to lay it on the line, and we're going to play hard for them. We look forward to sharing the Raider organization with them. I just encourage everybody to hang tough and try to get through these next couple months, because we will get through it.
Coach, they tell me next week you'll be up in your office, comfortable there with the clicker. We'll be breaking down tape. We'll be doing that all year long. Good luck with the victory on the road in Carolina. Appreciate you doing this.
Thanks, JT.
JT, thank you. Coming up next, we talk the opposition and break down what to expect from Teddy Bridgewater and the brand new Panthers offense.
For generations, our tribe has called the Inland Empire region our home. We take pride in supporting our neighbors and the world around us. As one of the largest employers in the area, committed to the growth and prosperity of our community, we work to support many important local causes. Our tribe will always be here for this community, honoring our history, celebrating our culture, building a brighter future for us all.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. It's the steady beat in the story of Anderson .Paak, the story of his immigrant mother, raising 4 children on her own. His own story of a man who came from nothing, who found purpose and success in the booth of a recording studio. Anderson .Paak found his fighting spirit and uses it to inspire others through his music. Since 1925, we've proved that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters what you're made of. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Show. Erin Coscarelli here alongside my guys Lincoln Kennedy and Jim Plunkett. Gents, I got to ask you this question because I need to break down the quarterback position. Panthers let go of Cam Newton last year and brought in a guy who is coming back from a major injury. We all know he went 5-0 when he played backup duty in NOLA, but what can we really expect from Teddy Bridgewater, who is not getting a preseason to really get acclimated and on the same page with his new offense? Jim, I'll start with you.
Well, I think it's in the same predicament a lot of players and coaches are today with the environment and the COVID and such. He'll be as ready as he can be. He's experienced, been in the league about 5 years or so. Led him to a 5-0 record when he took over for Drew Brees. He's got a lot of talent. He runs the ball well. And he had his best year in those 5 games. Even though it's a small segment. But, maybe he's on the way back. I've been through those situations where sometimes they give up on you and you find a way to claw your way back. And, I picture Teddy Bridgewater in that category.
Well, 5-0 certainly is a great thing to have when you're in New Orleans, but now he's in a brand new system with Carolina, and we haven't seen him do it since 2015 over the course of a season when he was with the Vikings. So, Lincoln, I ask you this question, what are you expecting from Teddy Bridgewater this season, and specifically on Sunday against that Raiders defense?
Well, the thing is, Teddy Bridgewater is coming into a system, leaving a system where he had a good defense, he had a running game, he had a consistent offensive flow around him. And as Jim mentioned, there are so many unknowns that you really can't quantify or begin to understand. The thing is that the Carolina Panthers, we know hardly anything about what they're going to do on offense. And the Raiders are going to learn it first and foremost. So that's why I think it puts more pressure on Raiders offense to score more points, to put the pressure on the Carolina offense to try to keep up.
Yeah, interesting that you feel like the Raiders offense feels more pressure on game day, even though it's a brand new system for Carolina, Lincoln.
Well, it is a brand new system, but it's a system that he's somewhat familiar with. When you have a veteran quarterback like this, you bring in things that they like to do. You make it as easy as possible for them, and I think Bridgewater is going to have that, not only with Christian McCaffrey, but it's just a new environment, so a lot of new things going on.
Yeah, and he has performed with Joe Brady before, the offensive coordinator, because Joe Brady was there with him in New Orleans. So certainly that familiarity, I'm sure, makes him more comfortable as we head into the season. And I circled the number 58 because that was the number of sacks Carolina allowed last year. Rod Marinelli is licking his chops to see if that offensive line for Carolina is going to be prone for weakness. I do want to talk about the young secondary. Trayvon Mullen, Damon Arnett, a lot of young guys added to this defense, and no doubt, too, of course, the free agency adds in Corey Littleton and Nick Kwiatkowski. Jim, I ask you, what's your expectation for the Raiders defense this year, and do you think Teddy Bridgewater will have success against that young secondary?
Well, number one, I certainly hope not, but it all comes with the pressure that the defensive line and linebackers can put on the quarterback, make him throw quicker than he wants to, make him run out of the pocket and come up with big plays in that regard. In a sense, the defensive outfit of the Raiders is fairly conservative. They don't blitz a lot. They don't come after you a lot, or at least they haven't in the past. And, those guys are going to play their system. They're going to keep all the routes in front of them. Don't let anybody get deep. And, hopefully your defensive line can put some pressure on the quarterback.
No doubt we're going to learn a lot about both these teams in week one. Lincoln, I ask you, what's your take on the free agency adds in Littleton and Kwiatkowski? And do you echo the sentiments of Jim that the linebacker core is really going to maybe decipher what's going to end up happening with the secondary by putting a lot of pressure on Bridgewater on Sunday?
Well, that pressure has to come from the front four. To me, it has to come from guys like Malik Collins and Crosby and Farrell. They've got to find a way to generate pressure, because the last thing you want to do in this league with as many explosive receivers you have is blitz a lot, and that's what Jim was referring to. So if you're Paul Guenther, you want to hope that Rod Marinelli is firing up that defensive line to be able to generate pressure with four to make Teddy really uneasy in the backfield.
Well, like I said, I think we're going to learn a lot about the Raiders and the Panthers after week one. Gents, thank you so much for joining today. I have to be honest, I just want Sunday football to get here already. Our first Silver and Black show officially in the books from Las Vegas. Thanks to Lincoln Kennedy. That'll do it for us here, and Jim Plunkett. I'm Erin Coscarelli, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders. Cox Business, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Twitch, the official live streaming platform of the Las Vegas Raiders.